Right, I thought I'd just do a quick video covering the York 863 that you see in front of you. Many will know that the York 863 is supposed to be a 40 channel FM only CB radio, putting out 4 watts, and it's operating between 27.60125 and 27.99125. which is what we call in the UK the Muppets, or the legal 40, or the 2781 channels. It's just 40 channels FM, output 4 watts, that's it. Now I get a lot of comments from you out there saying, how are you DXing abroad on this thing? And basically, as you may have guessed now, this is the York 863 Stealth Edition that I created. It's not an 863. There's actually what's called a Superstar 2000 in front of you. And all I did was I put, many years ago, a York 863 fascia on it. Because obviously in the UK this radio was illegal at the time. And you used to have the GPO out trying to catch you using it. And I used to run this mobile, so I managed to get an 863 front. I put it on the radio, and I was naive enough to think that if I got stopped, no one would notice that it wasn't a legal radio, because it's got the proper legal stamp on the front. Yeah, obviously it's got a fine and coarse control on it, but obviously I was naive enough at the time to think no one would notice that. But luckily I never got stopped. I've owned the radio since 1986, I think I brought it. It was either 86 or 87. I paid at the time, I think it was £160 for it. It was practically brand new. The guy had only had it a few months. And yeah, it's been a good little radio. So I'm just going to run through, when you see me fiddling around on here, you know, obviously this is labelled volume, squelch, RF gain, dimmer, mic gain, tune and all the bits. Well, that's not what they do at all. I'm so used to operating this thing, I know what the controls really are. And that's, I think, what's confusing you. So let's run through what this radio actually has got on it and what each one of these actually are. So this is, the volume is actually labelled volume. So you can turn the volume up, and it's also the on-off switch. So that one is actually as labelled. Now squelch is not squelch. Squelch is actually my band switch. Now there's 2 versions of the Superstar 2000. One's got 5 sets of 40 channels, and one's got 4 sets of 50 channels. Mine is the 5 sets of 40 channels. So this here is a 5-positioned band switch. Now furthest to the left is band A. And band A is the lows, and that covers 26.065 to 26.505 megahertz. Now if I flick it one to the right, we go up to band B, which is known as the lows, and that covers 26.515 to 26.955. Go up again, we go to band C, which is known as the mids, which is what the Americans normally use for their AM, and this is 26.965 to 27.405. Then we go up to what's called the highs, which is my band D. Now this goes from 27.415 to 27.855. Band D on channel 12, which you see me hovering around this channel 12, is where what's called the 555 is, which is 27.555, and that's where I do most of my sideband work. Now I've also got band E, which is known as the highs, and this goes from 27.865 to 28.305. Now I don't go up on band E, because once you go up on band E you're starting to wander up towards the 10 metre amateur bands, and I'm not going anywhere near there. Okay, so we've got A, B, C, D and E, 5-band selector switch, and that's what sets my frequencies. Now the next one here that says RF gain is actually my squelch. You can hear that kick in there. Okay, and then the next one that says dimmer, this is actually, oh, turn that down, this is actually my mode switch. So starting furthest to the left we have CW, which obviously you would use for Morse code, but I don't know Morse and I don't want to use Morse code. I wouldn't know where to start. So that's, you can hear the difference in the sounds here. So that's carrier wave, which you do your Morse code on. Then it doesn't change at all, but you've got lower sideband. So obviously you can DX on there, and I do use that. Then you can hear it change to upper sideband, which again I DX on. Then we go to AM, and then we go to FM. So going back again, we got FM, AM, upper sideband, lower sideband, and carrier wave. Now the next one here, which says mic gain, is obviously my dual fine and coarse controls. My coarse control will move me down 5 kcs, up 5 kcs from the channel. So at the moment we're on band D, 27.555. If I go this way, I can go down to 27.550. And if I go this way, I can go to 27.560. So I've got plus or minus 5 of the channel that I'm on. The coarse control, this little one on the front, is just used for tuning. It doesn't alter the transmit frequency or receive frequency, it just tunes the station in. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these controls along the top. I've got tone and I've got high, mid, low, a 3-position switch. Well, tone, that's not tone, that's actually my RF gain. You can see I move that down, the meter's gone right down, and again, comes back up again. So that's my RF gain. I've only got 3-position switch. I've got no actual variable control. Normal and power antenna attenuation is my A&L switch, my automatic noise limiter on or off. I normally run with it on. Channel 9 and off is actually my noise blanker. Noise blanker off, noise blanker on. Normally run with it on. Then we've got clear and norm is actually CB and PA. So CB up the top, PA now if I go down. So again, we just leave it in CB position. And the CB and PA switch, which is next door to my CB and PA, which is here, is actually tone high and low. I normally run in low tone, but I can go to there. And there you can hear the difference. Okay. And then next to that, I've got another 3-position switch here, which is marked up as the delta tune, plus or minus on here. This is actually my power switch. So if I go up here, I've got high, mid and low. I normally run on mid power, to be honest with you. Now for sideband, high power is 15 watts on mine. Should be 12, but it swings to 15. So obviously with my amp, I'm not meant to be putting in any more than 12 watts for sideband. As I put in 15, I've gone down to mid power, which is 8 watts. So I'm putting 8 watts into my amp. So I'm not overdriving it, not likely to kill it. So high power 15 watts, mid power 8 watts, low power 2 watts, sideband and carrier wave. Okay. For AM, high power is 7.5 watts, mid power is 4 watts, low power 1 watt. For FM, high power is actually 10 watts, mid power is 7 watts, low power 2 watts. So I'll just refresh that. So sideband high 15 watts, mid 8 watts, low 2 watts. AM high 7.5 watts, mid 4 watts, low 1 watt. FM high 10 watts, mid 7 watts, 2 watts, low. So that pretty much covers the radio. You've got a TX light here, which does work as well. But this fascia exactly fitted the Superstar 2000. I'll flash up a picture now of what the Superstar 2000 actually looked like. And you can see the controls as they should be. But obviously not what I run on the Stealth Edition. So we look at the rear of the radio, you can see the 3 extension jacks there. Starting with the left-hand one, that's where you put your Morse code key in. The middle one is extension speaker, and the one on the right-hand side there is for PA. And obviously you've got your power socket on the back. Now, had the back of mine been the York, it would have the York plate on it, but it hasn't got that on it. Mine's just bare. So So anyway, I hope that clarifies a bit of confusion that's been going on. So no, I'm not DXing to Brazil on a York 863 as much as I'd like it. And good guess on the people who said it was a NATO 2000. It's fairly similar to a NATO 2000, but it's not. It's the Superstar 2000. All right. Anyway, if you've got any other questions on the radio, comment below and I'll come back to you. But I hope that clarifies and clears up a bit any confusion. Because, yeah, I can imagine it would be a bit confusing looking at me DXing on a York 863. But many of you guessed it wasn't. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed it. It's only a short little video, but just to clear up any confusion.